Hello everybody, I'm Gio, and welcome to Chapter 32 of White Silk Lover. May 4th, 8 p.m. Coby. It's cold, it's an alley, and the green dumpster I'm hiding behind stinks. I'm not the only one in the alley. A man, half hidden by newspapers, snored. An old dog sniffed at the pile of garbage bags, while someone banged about in the building behind me. A cook, maybe, cleaning up the kitchen. You've ruined him. It's your fault. Tomas hates you, Sam had yelled. Each time I close my eyes, I can picture the website announcing my deepest shame. The whole world knows. No wonder Tomas hates me. I've been running or hitchhiking west, and when I couldn't find a ride, I walked. Yesterday, I guess, was a cardio day. This morning my calves are stiff, and my feet ached. My thin boat shoes I picked up from the thrift store just for this trip are falling apart. A blister has already popped on one foot, and I think another has formed. I hope Conrad doesn't mind, but I borrowed his name. I just want to go home. Away from the pain, away from the world. But the closest thing I have to a home is my little apartment back in Vegas. I wanted to call Tomas to apologize because the website had it wrong. Everybody thinks I used him. But Sam was right. Who will believe me? My stomach hurt. I hadn't had food since Sunday. What I had eaten, I'd thrown up. Sorry, Tomas, for the cleaning bill. Somehow I'll pay you back. Except my back pocket's empty. No wallet. I've been begging as often as I can, and now I'm rich. I have $15 and a pile of change. I have my keys, but no phone, no laptop, no homework, no tests, no debit card, no cash, no ID, no pain pills, and no clothes, except what I'm wearing. I don't sleep much because my hand hurts too much. My situation is familiar. I've been here before. I'm in an alley, and just like 3 years ago, I'm alone and friendless. The only difference? I'm 1,000 miles away from the streets that I know. Recital's on Friday, and my hand throbbed. Well, I'm in an alley, which is almost as good as any department store. From an old rag, I made a sling. An old box gives me some cardboard, and after a few minutes scrounging in the garbage bags, I found an old Sharpie and a baseball cap. With the Sharpie and cardboard, I made a new sign. Stranded. Anything will help. On one side. And, can you help me get to Vegas? On the other. It's not beautiful. It's a good thing I didn't major in art. The goal sounds easy, but it is impossible. Make it to Vegas in time for my recital. I already know I'll miss the finals. But I need food, money, and a huge stroke of luck. I keep the old marker, put the hat on to protect my nose from the sun, and find myself a place to beg. First prayer. Don't let this hat have lice. Second prayer. Don't let Tomas ever know about this. Make him forget me before I cause any more problems. Third prayer. Make the ache inside me go away. Wednesday, May 5th, midnight. Coby. I'm somewhere west of North Platte, walking the highway in the dark. My ride? A middle-aged pervert dropped me off in the middle of nowhere when I told him no. So I walked. No chance of anybody seeing me in the dark. By now, Tomas has realized that I'm no good for him. I'd only ruin him. It hurts because I thought that things would be different. I thought I had found a place where I fit in. I have to face it. I don't fit in anywhere. By now, Kelly and Conrad know what I've done, and they won't want to have anything to do with me. It's dark out here. No lights, no city, the middle of nowhere with fields of something on each side of the freeway. I'm alone, few cars, hungry. What I had begged for, I had spent on a burger and fries. Goodbye, vegan. Goodbye, weight loss. A car zoomed by. Its brights blinded me for a second. I held my thumb out. Up ahead is the Junction. One way I head into Wyoming, the other down to Denver. I'm terrified. I'm in lands I've never been to, following roads I have never heard of, all to get to a city that doesn't care if I exist. Which way do I go? I'll wait and see where the next car takes me. The skies are brilliant with a million stars, just like the ones on the yacht. My tears drizzle down my cheeks, and the ache in my chest pounds as bad as my hand. I lay down on the side of the road and pretend Tomas is by me, that he still loved me. A needle-thin streak of light shot across the sky. Make a wish, Tomas had said. I want to go home, I said. But I don't have a home, or a family, or friends, or food, or Tomas. Friday, May 7th, 9 a.m. Coby. The last trucker let me off at a truck stop outside of Vegas, and she gave me a 20. 5 days begging, hitchhiking, scrounging. I stunk. I was filthy and sunburned, but I had made it. My recital was tonight, but it did no good. My fingers barely moved. At a Quickie Mart, I broke the 20 and used part of it to catch a bus back to my part of town. This was all the money I had. I couldn't afford to get replacement cards, or food, or tuition, or a phone. I hopped on the bus and took a seat near the middle. 3 people moved away from me. I smelled, no doubt about that. Life was too hard, but it was time to accept the facts. I had to rebuild my life. For a few weeks, I had lived a dream, but now it's back to reality. Time to start crawling upwards. Again. Alone. Without Tomas, or Kelly, or Conrad, who'd want to be with me? With the way I smelled, not even me. The bus pulled up to my corner of Vegas. I got out and walked the final block. God, my legs ached. I let myself into my little apartment, an old one-car garage converted to a small studio. Home. I had destroyed Tomas's career. I had ruined him. And no, I didn't mean to. Me. Finally back in my apartment, in a dirty Sterling Lock t-shirt, stained khaki shorts, and I hadn't had a proper shower since Nebraska. Was that 4 days ago? 5? I'm ripe. It's 9 in the morning, and there's this all-night diner that makes everything. Guess where I stopped on my way back to my apartment? My best friend waited for me. A meat lover's pizza with extra sauce and extra cheese and extra pepperoni and extra bacon, with Parmesan topping and extra sauce to dip each slice into. Sat on the table next to my little bed, next to my 2 years weight loss chart. I had used the last of my money to buy the pizza. One mighty tug that wrenched my neck, and I stripped off my backpack with my right hand, hurled it across the little room. It landed on the twin mattress. The makeshift sling joined it. My hand throbbed, and my fingers clenched together. I might as well be maimed. A full pizza used to be a Saturday night feast for me. Now, it's my last meal. I can't afford anything more. With a violent shake, I pulled off what used to be my favorite shirt, turning it inside out. A seam ripped, and the shirt snagged on my hand brace. I'm about to fail 2 years of excruciating work, and right now, I don't care. Why should I? Everything has fallen apart. I have no privacy, no family, no friends, no one I can turn to. And worse, I have ruined Tomas's life, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. My ragged boat shoes. I kicked them off and they banged against the wall. The padding inside one fell out. The pizza stared at me, inviting me to dive into its extra cheesy goodness. And I can't resist the bacon any longer. 2 years being vegan down the drain. Without willing to, I picked up a slice, savoring the feel of the crust, the warmth as the sauce oozed onto my fingers, and watched it inch towards my mouth. The smell of the bacon is the essence of all my denied dreams. As my belt joined the backpack on the bed, my chest broke. A soft sob escaped, and the first bite is already past my teeth. I drown in the cheese, in the sauce, in the crispy bacon. It's a good thing nobody is around. With the extra sauce drooling out of my mouth, I look like a vampire. Everything I've rejected for 2 years is waiting for me again. Food, my oldest, dearest friend, my only friend. A brutal pounding at the door made me jump. Coby, I know you're in there. It's Kelly, my best friend. The last person I want to see right now. Coby, Kelly pleaded. Listen to me. Open the door. We need to talk. I took another bite, and another, and another. The grease dripped down my chin, mixing with the sauce and onto my bare chest. I stepped to the door. Just leave me alone, okay? Let me in, please, Kelly said, her voice becoming loud and insistent. It took every bit of willpower I had to keep the door closed. As I placed my back on the door, I crammed another bite of failure into my mouth. The bacon is crunchy, just how I like it. Why? I've already ruined everything. Please, just let me in. Conrad and I have been waiting since we heard what happened. Her tone changed to more of a beg. Please, we're your friends. Her voice was softer. A light thump. I imagined it was her head leaning against the door, only inches from mine. Please. Without any kind of fight, I opened the door. Kelly took one look at me, at the pizza, and she bit her lower lip. Her eyes teared up. I wiped my chin with the back of my left arm as more pizza grease oozed onto my right hand, down my arm, and dripped onto my ugly waist. She knew my story. The whole world did now. Coby, she said, don't do this to yourself. Taking another bite of the pizza, I picked off a piece of bacon and ate it like it's a fine wine. I know, the metaphor doesn't quite fit, so I take another bite of delicious cheese. I'll be 5 pounds heavier tomorrow. What else is there? I said. I know it looks bad. She closed the door behind her. The pain ripped across my heart. I held my breath to keep from sobbing. That's because it is, I said. I ate the last of the slice, then reached for another. It didn't take much to open the sauce and dip the new slice in it. Food always made everything better. A single tear ran down Kelly's cheek, and she wiped it away. I've never seen her cry before. Can I have a slice? She said. Sliding the pizza box towards Kelly, I lifted up the container of extra sauce and handed it to her. She looked over the selection, and she chose the greasiest and cheesiest and baconiest slice. She dipped in the sauce. I dipped. She had an engagement ring on her finger. I had hoped that would someday be me and Tomas. Something warm escaped my eye, and I turned away so Kelly didn't see. If I said anything, I'll break down. I can't eat. All that food, and I can't eat. I sniffed, staring out the window, the slice wilting in my hand. The window held my desperate reflection. Sauce, grease, tears, A streamer of cheese dangled from my mouth. Kelly saw the reflection. I can't hide. That's been stolen from me. As I closed my eyes, the slice dropped from my fingers and back into the pizza box. A sob escaped. She wrapped her arms around me, her breathing ragged in my ear. She pressed her wet cheek against mine. Her voice quivered, even worse than before. When was the last time you ate? I don't say anything, because I don't want to admit what I found in the dumpster in Cheyenne and ate. You read the website. You know everything, don't you? I whispered. Kelly nodded. Conrad, too. I wish you had told us, but we understand why you didn't. She hugged me and then looked at me. Did you walk all the way back here? And hitchhiked, I said. You look terrible and smell terrible, she said. You always were my best friend, I said. Can I ask a favor? Anything, as long as we can get you something to eat. I've got to put my life back together, I said. Can you take me to the university? I need to talk to Dr. Garnier to see if I can salvage my grade. After a shower and a drive-through, she said. Conrad and I will wait outside. I hung my head and stared at my dirty and bruised feet. I don't have any money. I already figured that part out, Kelly said. Can I borrow your phone? I asked. Mine's back in Nebraska. Kelly handed me her phone and went outside. After she left, I dumped all the clothes I wore in the sink, filled it with water and soap, and let them soak. For good measure, I tossed the hat in. When I get the money, I'll shave my head or find lice shampoo to be on the safe side. I dumped my backpack on the table and loaded it with my gear for college. The wall above my bed held my 2 years weight loss chart. It also included a lot of other things, like song lyrics and phone numbers. I checked the phone numbers on my chart, found Tomas's number. Would he even want to hear from me? I had to apologize. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm back to thinking in 5-minute segments, just like 3 years ago, because my brain can't think any further ahead. I took a deep breath and called Tomas. The operator said, "The number you are trying to reach has been changed. There is no forwarding number." I should have expected that. Only a few people had his number. He didn't want to hear from me. But I needed to apologize for all the trouble I had caused and thank him because this was the best month of my life. I had to hear his voice one last time, even if he yelled at me. Below Tomas's phone number was the business card Monica had given me when she interviewed me. Monica was Jerry's wife. If I left a message with her, it would get to Tomas eventually. I took another deep breath and called her. It rang 3 times. "Hello, Kelly Bradford," she said. "I take it you need someone to work on an article?" I paused to gather the courage and spoke. "Monica, would you give a message to Tomas? I can't get a hold of him." "Coby?" she said. "Tell Tomas I'm sorry. I wish things had been different," I said. "Coby? Where are you?" "Doesn't matter," I said. "Tell him I had fun and I love him and thank you. But Sam was right. He's better off without me." "Coby, tell me where you are," Monica said. I made it back to Vegas. Somehow I have to put my life back together. Maybe Dr. Garnier will let me take the final and I can pass. Maybe I can get my job back. Tell Tomas to forget me, please. "Coby, you need to know." I interrupted. "Please tell Tomas, Joy, Albert, everybody that I'm sorry, and I hope someday they'll forgive me. I love them all. I've got to go because this conversation is too hard. It was nice working with you. Goodbye, Monica." "Coby, wait, don't hang up." The dream was over. I hung up the phone. When it rang, I turned the volume off and got in the shower. Hot water never felt so good. My heart never felt so bad. When I got outside, both Kelly and Conrad gave sunburned me a hug. I gave Kelly back her phone. You've lost weight, Conrad said. I don't recommend the diet and exercise program, I said. Kelly smiled. When you binge, you do it right. Let's find a drive-thru, and you're telling us everything. I want tacos, Conrad said. For breakfast? Kelly said. Coby, what do you want? I don't care as long as it has bacon, I said. Bacon tacos, Conrad said. I think I know a place that would make them. Thank you for listening, everybody. This has been Chapter 32 for White Silk Lover. Next session, we'll do Chapter 33, the final chapter. Peace.